What's up guys, NukiN here and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing a lot of defense theory crafting for 3v3 Grand Arena. We're about to embark on our very first 3v3 3-round Grand Arena. It's going to be very exciting. At the highest GP bracket, you're going to need to deploy 11 teams. 11. There will be no ships, and also your opponent will be deploying 11 teams, so you're going to need 11 plus teams, maybe a few more if you fail on the first try for offense. So we need to theory craft some 3v3 teams. We're going to be doing defense in this video, and then I'll be releasing an offense video probably a day or two after this. So sit back and relax and let's talk about some 3v3 defense teams. So let's get started taking a look at some of these defense teams. They're not in any particular order, but we have a bunch of teams here. I've went and listed a bunch of teams that could be put on defense, and then for some of them I've even listed substitutions. So here, for example, you can see multiple Kira teams. Obviously you can only put one Kira and one Revan and one Palpatine. So we'll go over some of those substitutions when we go to that hero. So first off, we have Darth Traya and the Sith Triumvirate. So the Sith Triumvirate is very strong. I mean, they are a trio. This mode is literally one of the modes that they should be excelling in. And if they don't, then that's a darn shame because they are literally called the Triumvirate. 3. Okay, so Traya on any Sith team is going to be very good. She can cleanse debuffs. Her leadership ability is amazing. Nihilus does have a leadership ability, but it's not as good. I guess you could try and maybe squeeze out another Sith leadership, but there is Zeta Darth Maul, and there are other Sith leaders like Palpatine, Vader, etc. So I wouldn't even bother running a Nihilus lead. I'd stick him with the Triumvirate, and I would highly suggest thinking about putting this team on defense. It's going to hold pretty well. Now, next up, we have the Thrawn Empire team. So this team is very interesting. So you can actually run this on defense or offense, and it depends on kind of what you're facing. If you're going to go on offense, I probably would include a stronger Imperial Trooper like Range Trooper, or maybe even throw in Director Krennic, for example. But for defense, you're going to want Auto Taunters, Healers, and combined with the Zeta leadership, you're going to be gaining a bunch of health, a bunch of protection. You're going to have a big boost here in the sort of defensive stats. You're going to gain a bunch of turn meter. Shore Trooper, when he's taunted and you use specials, you're going to be able to actually gain a bunch more turn meter that way. And this team is just a pain to kind of take out. There's Dispel, there's Death Mark, Fracture. It's just crit immunity. It's just annoying to take out. And I think it's going to be even more annoying because it's 3v3 and not 5v5. So that's another team suggestion. It'll probably hold, I think, depending on, if you have these characters modded well. Of course, if you have Death Trooper modded for something like the Chex Mix team, and your Shore Trooper has, like 10 speed and your Thrawn's, very slow as well, it probably won't hold. But if you have really stellar mods on a team like this, there's a strong chance that it'll hold on defense. Or if it doesn't, they're gonna have to definitely not underestimate the team. So going to the next team, we have a bunch of different Palpatine lineups. So Palpatine is an amazing leader. You can run him on offense or defense. And I believe if you're gonna run him on defense, you're gonna want to put Darth Vader on the team. So that's why every one of these teams has Darth Vader on the team. So we're gonna go over probably the standard one here. Now, Sith Trooper is a Sith auto-taunting tank. These guys are both Sith on top of being Empire, and so they're going to trigger the taunting capabilities of Sith Trooper, and that's going to be favorable. There's also another lineup with Tarkin, and this works because Tarkin and Vader are very sort of, durable, and Palpatine is so quick and has capabilities of healing himself, etc. And especially if you have his Zeta on his unique, he actually can be, if modded well, kind of tanky as well. I mean, he's still squishy, but this team works even without a tank. So that's another option. And then if you're worried about having no tank and Palpatine dying, you can throw in Dark Side Bastila Fallen, which is going to make the Sith leader have 50% defense and make Palpatine that much more tankier. Also, she is a Sith character with a ton of debuffs, which is going to fuel, just like Darth Vader fuels, a ton of turn meter with the Zeta leadership from Palpatine. So that is Palpatine. Now moving on to First Order. So I think you can run First Order also on offense or defense. If you're going to run First Order on defense, I recommend running a Kylo Ren Unmasked with the Masked Kylo and First Order Stormtrooper. And if you're going to probably do it on offense, you're going to probably want to consider throwing in Fox or First Order Officer, something more squishy, but this is going to be a very durable lineup, and you're going to actually have probably some holds as well, especially if they're going to try to use, you know, like the resistance, and you have a bunch of tenacity on these characters. The lack of 2 extra characters that can expose means that every single missed or resisted expose is going to be actually detrimental. Huge, like there's going to be a huge chance of messing up if there's a bunch of tenacity and stuff like that, and they're depending on taking out this team with a Zeta Fin Poe resistance trooper team. It's going to be bad news. So that's the First Order team here for defense. Now moving down, we have Revan, and we have a few options for Revan. So you can try to run, for example, you know, you can try to run Old Republic Jedi characters. You could try to put Bastila here and Bindo, for example. They're going to be boosting up his speed. Revan is kind of dependent on his speed boost, and that comes from having a full team of Jedi. So normally you can run Bastila and Bindo and get like 40 flat speed from his leadership, but now in 3s you're losing a bunch of that flat speed that's coming from each character, and so he's actually going to be weaker here. And so the sort of reasoning is, you know, if he's going to be not as quick, then have some characters that are going to be kind of durable. So Aayla Secura is kind of durable. Bindo is very durable. Revan is fairly durable himself, and the combination of, you know, heals and revives from Bindo, and also the calling of assist. Aayla Secura can call to assist with her basic attack, and when those characters attack out of turn, you know, they're going to be gaining actual protection, and also they're going to synergize, you know, by attacking and focusing the mark targets, and that's going to be nice. So a good combination of durability, sustain, etc. That's going to be a nice team. You can also run something more offensive, and this is going to be something like you could put Grandmaster Yoda in here, or Ezra, someone that does even more damage than Aayla Secura, and potentially just try and be, you know, if you think you can outspeed your opponent, you definitely want to do something that's going to do high damage. So Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra, etc. You want characters like that. Now let's look at what the next team is, Bastila. So assuming that you don't place Bastila with your Revan team, you can run a Zeta Bastila leadership. And so you can actually, so for, let's say you use the Aayla Secura character on your Revan team. Then that opens up using Ezra, for example. And this is going to be kind of an annoying team here. You have Ezra, Bastila, and Hermit Yoda with Master's Training, defense up from on Ezra. He gives that to himself. Then you have a ton of bonus protection, so they can't get debuffed. And the Master Training actually makes them tankier as well. And there's, you know, he can heal. And also I think Bastila should automatically, the AI should trigger the rally ability on the attacker. I really doubt that. I didn't test this, so don't hate me if this doesn't work. But I really doubt that she's going to call Hermit Yoda with the rally. But if she does, yeah, that'll be probably not the best team. So going on, we have another combination here. Now this is interesting as well. This is kind of like Bastila, you know, late game, sort of. I don't know. You have Wampa here, and his only job, the only job of this team is to delay long enough for Wampa to get powered up. And so the combination of a Xeris here with the capability of heals from her as well, and she can heal on her basic. She has a heal on her special. She can cleanse Wampa if he gets dazed. Single target cleanse is actually way more valuable in a 3s format than a 5s format. You can kind of consistently get the cleanse that you're looking for. I mean, it's a 50-50 roll. You have Xeris, and then it's either going to be one or the other. And so especially, it's going to end up cleansing Wampa, for example, if Bastila is not debuffed. And guess what? She can't get debuffed until the bonus purple protection is gone. So she will basically be consistently cleansing Wampa, and one of Wampa's weaknesses is when he gets stunned or dazed. And then, since he can't get debuffed, for example, or he can, but once he takes his turn, it'll be cleansed. That means he'll be able to start off with his special, and then he gets his own bonus protection, which increases his tenacity, I think, or something like that. And then he really can't get debuffed, and the train gets going, and you daze the enemy team. So kind of a good combination there. So that's that. Now, moving on to the next sort of combination of characters, we have Kira and the Scoundrels. So the standard sort of version is going to be Zalbar and Mission Val. So that's going to be a standard sort of old school lineup, but I do have some more sort of unique lineups. So here is another one. I don't know if this is going to be the best team. Like, it's not going to do anything dangerous, but it will be very annoying to take out, because you have L3, she's super durable, and then you have Vandor Chewbacca, who's going to be, reducing the damage output with his unique. He's going to revive the Scoundrels if he has prepared, and he has the capability of healing and also giving bonus protection with his special. And I think this team is going to be, I don't know if you want to call it a timeout team, but it definitely, in a 3v3 format, there's less sort of attackers that you can throw on your team. You can't throw 3 attackers on the team. So the question is, can 1 or 2 attackers break this sort of wall? I don't know, maybe. And so I think this would be a team that, it's not going to kill anything, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill it. I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I would not enjoy facing that team. We got another one. So back in October, I actually theory crafted the full variant of this team, where it was Kira, Chewie, Han Solo, and what else was on the team? I already forgot. L3 and one other character. I think it was Vandor Chewbacca. And so this is that team minus the other 2, right? So you have Chewie and Han Solo. So Chewie is automatically going to guard Han Solo, and then he's going to guard one other character, and by default that's going to be Kira. And so you're going to have 2 guarded characters, which is awesome. Kira is a great leader. She's going to actually take a bunch of turns, and every time she takes a turn, and Han Solo also takes a lot of turns as well. And every time they take a turn, Chewie's going to attack, and he's going to do big damage. It's going to be another annoying team to have to face on defense. Now, earlier we were talking about Mission Val, but recently we got Karth. And Karth is the second Old Republic leader. And these guys are, on top of being scoundrels, they're Old Republic. So you could run a sort of dot synergy 3v3 team with Mission Val, Zalbar, and Karth. Now, the question is, let's assume that you don't have a Zeta on Zalbar, and you have a Zeta on, what's her name? Yeah, Mission Val. And maybe you do or do not have a Zeta on Karth. Do you run a 3 or 4 star Karth, for example? I would say probably. This team is going to be annoying to face, because Mission Val is going to go into stealth, and Zalbar is going to activate taunt whenever you get a character, below 100% HP or something like that. And there's just a ton of dot synergy. I think even if you don't have Karth, as long as he's around gear 9 to gear 11 range, definitely if he's Zeted, you may want to consider running him even if he's not, max stars. So that'll be an interesting team. Now, And that also frees up your Kira, of course, to do something, you know, like that timeout Vandor Chewie team, or that Han Solo OT Chewie team, etc. Next up, we have some Night Sisters. So for defense, I think Night Sister Zombie is going to be the best kind of character that you're going to want to run on defense. If you tend to run the Night Sisters on offense, you may want to consider throwing in more attackers like Night Sister Spirit, and maybe like a support character that can do a decent amount of damage like Talia versus Night Sister Zombie potentially. But yeah, I think, you know, throw in a Night Sister leader, whoever, you know, is your leader, whether it be the Great Mother Talzin, or if you run, you know, a lot of people have Asajj, her Zeta leadership because of the Sith raid. You know, you could also run Asajj. They're about the same. I would say that when it comes down to 3's format, Asajj is not going to ramp up as much because there's less characters to ramp up. So I'm considering that Mother Talzin might be the strongest leader, but we'll just have to find out and see. Both teams, it's the same exact team, it's just running a different leader. Or, you know, and the reason why I split them up is potentially maybe if you have both of them Zated, you could run one on offense and one on defense. And I assume that one of them will be better at doing certain things. I guess it depends on what you think your opponent's going to drop on the board. And so, yeah, we'll just have to see from there. Now, next up, we have the Bounty Hunters. So there's a lot of different combinations here. Boss is going to be a great leader to throw on defense. Boba Fett and Dengar, this is the core sort of bounty hunter team. And usually in the last 2 slots, there's either more bounty hunters, at least one more sometimes, and then, you know, something else that's kind of like Nest or something crazy, B2, or, you know, an auto taunter or something like that. So this is a great team. You could swap out Boba Fett potentially and throw in maybe Zam. There's some thermal detonator synergy, and then that can also kind of make them recover some stats, but this will probably hold best on defense. It depends on, you know, I guess it depends on how kind of spread out you want to go. We do need like 11 teams, so if you're getting kind of spread thin, you may want to consider weakening one of your teams, and potentially taking, you know, Boba Fett out of the team might, you know, be some, and putting him somewhere else might be what you need to do. So going further with the bounty hunters, we have another Sith team. We have Zeta Mall. So Zeta Mall with a Zeta SwGoH is very annoying to take out. You have evasion to deal with, and then Maul starts stacking up a ton of HP. SwGoH is just a pain in the butt to take out. And then Sith Assassin just generates a ton of turn meter, and whenever they dodge, they also gain turn meter. So this team is going to cycle through all of their cooldowns. And then there's synergy. Sith Assassin can do damage straight to the HP, and if she lands a big whatever her special shock is and gets the enemy, you know, down to have HP, SwGoH, even through full protection, can just go in and dunk them and take them out, and that's going to be epic. You know, I wish there was replays. If I was able to do that to an opponent, I would love to see that. Next up, we have CLS and some Rebel Scum. So there's a bunch of different Rebel teams that you could run. You could run CLS with Chase. You could run CLS R2-D2 and Old Ben. You could run CLS and, you know, Han Solo and OT Chewie. You know, there's a lot of different combinations. CLS is another team that does well. The AI plays it well on defense. And now wrapping up, we got a few more squads to take a look at. Oh, we just have one more group. We have the JTR Resistance Squad, and you can do the standard sort of BB-8 and R2-D2, or you can just take out R2-D2, put him somewhere else. He has, you know, a ton of other factions. He doesn't need to be with Resistance, but BB-8 and JTR have duo synergy on top of Resistance synergy. Highly recommend pairing them together, and then putting something like Holdo, you know, that's going to be nice. You could put Scavenger Ray, you could put Resistance Trooper, Basically any resistance character in that last slot will be good, but I think it'd be good to have a tank that can AoE daze and heal droids, etc. All right, so those were all the squads that I suggest to try to run on defense. Let me know if you guys thought that was helpful. Are you guys planning on running some similar squads? Did this sort of help you sort of brainstorm get some new ideas on potential new combinations or something? Let me know down in the comments below, and good luck to everyone in 3v3 Grand Arena. I will also be releasing a offense team video probably tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Cheers.
The Force will be with you, always.